Hello. Said I'd be back with my inner musing, so here it is. I am Robert Florence, aka Collisionist, or Collisionist, aka Robert Florence. I thought I would drop that fucking intro uploads ago, but apparently not, so now it just stuck. Funny how that works. Ah, what a week, what a week, what a week. And as usual, my inner musings is on Law and the Promise by Neville Goddard, or as Melinda lovingly named me, Next Level Neville. Then I add Unhinged, so Next Level Neville Unhinged. And shout out to Rachel for giving me props in those comments. Super cool, isn't it? Super cool, isn't it? All it is all my inspirations coming out. How I feel so free to express it. So before I begin with my notebook reading, of course, just want to say what a tumultuous week it has been. For quite a few people, I'm sure. A lot of pain going around. But through that pain, we learn to revise. Revise, as in my version. If something that I cherished and honored at one point, it was practically on a pedestal, the podium, the pillar of the community or society, whatever is ingrained in your beliefs. But I'm also a believer in energy, of course. So what's projected is reflected. But just like the waves in motion, if a certain feeling builds up amongst the reflections, then that projection will override and guide painfully. Painfully, of course. So what do we do with that pain? Well, especially the ones that catch you off guard the hardest, and it even hurts to breathe or even think about it because it brings so much tightening sensations within a construction, a crushing, yes, a crushing. So, how I do it and how I revise it, I embrace that pain, of course, but then I let it just run through me, just like with my breaths. Inhale, then exhale it out. And then I allow myself to feel what it'd be like to be in another's position that is going through this. And by that I mean, what advice would you give them? What advice would you give them? You know, putting yourself in their shoes, so to speak, feeling it from that angle. Because more often than not, the advice we give to others we love and care and cherish about, sometimes we need that advice ourselves. Yes. Ah. And then when we do that, it may change the feeling because you change your perspective. However, if nothing comes to you at first, that's okay. That's fine. Totally fine. Because when you put that intent in that question, it'll come back somehow. Whether you want to look at it spiritually guided, in a divine manner, or even just a subconscious allowing to where it catches your attention because you let that open. To me, we're all givers and receivers, of course. Yes, in more ways than one, many layers. So, with that being said, let us begin. And then, add some more concrete visuals to your own imaginative play, because you're gonna be seeing things different, feeling things different, and believing things different as you are right now, because there's that feeling, that desire, and that wish you have, that wish you have. That wish you hold, and that wish that is true to you. Wear that shit proudly, yes. And trust the process which leads you as you wear it proudly, because you're already it within. If you let your senses run wild with it, in the internal play of your mind, and put some heat and put some heart into it, passionate fire, spark into it. And while you're at it, as you picture and feel as if it has all been already achieved, closing your physical eyes to open your mind's eye, and by that, you could look at it as your imagination, just a thought. Don't worry if the pictures are not clear. We're after the feeling, after all. And then you can at least close them enough to where you block out the visuals around you. If you're really feeling the need to snag a pic, especially in that state. Squinting, a sharp focus, but a relaxed one, as if you're sleepy, yes, but eyes still partially open. And grab a pic from somewhere and stare and then get lost in it, like you do when you watch a movie or read a book, or if you're even lost in thought. Because you're the one creating, directing, and starring in your own fucking story. Yes. We're all writing our own stories. However, I will say from experience, when we run away from certain things, it comes back in a cycle. Sometimes even harder, and you can catch the process, but are you willing to listen, or are you just gonna let it run you over until you bring yourself to closure, instead of allowing yourself to be sober to the pain that stains and sustains? If you wish to contain and run, it's after you, or do you let it run through you? And flip your position as if in another's perspective, in another's shoes. And what would you choose to use to help them? What advice would you give? Just consider the ones you love if that helps you more. And it's okay if nothing comes to you, because it'll guide you. Always.